All right, everybody, I've got a special guest here today, Spirit Radio. I'm going to ask him a couple questions so we can get to know him and all the viewers out there and listeners. Spirit Radio, tell us about yourself. When did you start this psychic stuff?
I guess I really always had it. I can remember things when I was a kid, but you get that logical side where you think it's not real or it's wrong. You kind of forget about it, but it's always been there. But I guess it's when I started studying about all that ghost talking and magic and things, probably about 6 years ago. My mind opened up a lot more, and then I started seeing more things and having a lot of experiences. So, but really, my whole life I've known.
Okay, that's I hear that a lot. People will know, be more in touch with their psychic when they're younger, but when they go to school, they kind of forget that. Do you think the schools mainly teach using the left brain, and that's kind of hurting this psychic stuff?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think they should teach both.
So you think they should teach the left and the right brain?
Yeah, I mean, why do you have it?
Yeah, exactly. They're both the same size, so they should be used equally in theory.
I would think so.
So how does somebody that wants to use their right brain, what would you recommend if they're just starting? They don't know what to do, they need some help. What would you suggest?
Something like coloring or drawing, definitely, or just meditating, like listening to music when you go to sleep. That will open up your dream path too, as long as it's something you enjoy. If you're going to color, maybe use colors like yellow. Yellow is the symbol of intelligence, or the element of air, so it's supposed to open your mind. Sometimes we did this in French class in high school actually, you can listen to music and then draw whatever the music makes you see. I think that would be a really good way to start.
Yeah, I agree with that. Listening to music and then coloring as the music inspires you. Yeah, I think that'd be a great, simple way to, start working that out.
Exactly, because the colors they're gonna make your eyes full. Like, your eyes are gonna be hungry. You ever notice when you go outside and the sky's blue, your eyes soak in the color? Like, if you can feel it, it's the same thing. So.
Now, do you think that the schools mainly teach with the left brain because of money, or do you think there's something deeper, like if the psychic and the right brain's not respected, or what's your opinion? Why is it not taught in schools so much?
I think both, and probably other reasons as well that I'm not even sure of, but definitely for money, because I feel like that's a big part of it, but also people are afraid of what they don't understand. So I don't understand all of it either, but if you're scared, then you're giving something you don't understand power. If you tell yourself you're not scared, you might not understand it, but you're not scared, and then there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah, I very much agree with. I think people are scared of things they don't know. I see it every day on the news. I mean, there is certain types of people that used to scare me, and I learned about their cultures, and I wasn't scared anymore. Do you have a story of something where you were scared and you learned about it and you weren't scared anymore?
Maybe with ghosts. Yeah. I've had a few experiences where I'm startled at first and I think maybe it's an evil entity or spirit or something like that, but then I take a minute and protect myself psychically and spiritually and realize that it's something there to give me a message or to help me. And it could be something that has, some kind of evil intent instead, but sometimes you just have to take a step back and be like, well, maybe this is a sign, or maybe this is something good, or something good can come from this. For example, I had a friend. She was an elderly lady I used to visit. I knew her from my old job. And when I quit that job, I would go and visit her because she lived by herself. Her husband had passed away years before. I would come over and we would have sweet tea. And we would just talk for about an hour. And then I would go home. Well, I hadn't been by in a while. I started working a lot. And she actually came into work, and I felt good that I got to see her. And then it'd been another month probably or so, and I hadn't visited her. So I went by her house, and she is the kind of lady, she's old-fashioned. She was elderly anyway. She was probably almost 80. She wouldn't answer the door after dark, which I respect. I don't think she would really answer the phone if she didn't really recognize the number. So I knocked on the door. It was just after the sun went down, but she didn't answer. I knocked a few times, and I had a feeling, but I was like, maybe she's not answering just because it's dark. And then the next time I went by our house, I saw the big dumpster in her front yard and realized that she had passed away. So I felt kind of guilty, because I hadn't seen her, but I felt good at the same time that she had come into my job to visit. So at this time, I was living in Temple, Georgia, and this is a time where my mind was really open spiritually, and I had fallen asleep, and I woke up because I sensed something over me in my room, and I immediately thought it was something evil, because there had been something evil on the outside of the house that couldn't get in, that I'd have experiences with before that. But then I took a moment and I heard, it's okay, it's just me, it's Dot, and it was her, and she was there to tell me, thank you for always spending time with me and making sure I had someone to talk to and that I was safe, and you don't need to feel guilty because I'm in a better place. And then I just fell right back to sleep. So that's a good example right there, where I was terrified at first, but then realized, it was just because I was woken out of my sleep. So sometimes that happens. You're woken up, quote unquote, out of your sleep because of something new, and you haven't experienced it yet, but sometimes you have to give it a shot.
Okay. And earlier you spoke about when you were a child, you kind of had these powers. Can you tell us a story when you were a child?
When I was a kid, well, as a little side note, I guess, I would make the wind blow a lot. I remember there's these childcraft encyclopedias my mom had. We still have them. And there were poems in there about the wind. There was one in particular I can't remember now, but I would always go outside and recite it and see if it would make the wind blow. And I felt like it worked. Sometimes you think, maybe I was just exaggerating because I was a kid. That was so long ago. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. But that's where you start to doubt yourself. And if you doubt yourself, then, what do you have? So that's the first rule. Don't doubt yourself. Another one I remember, maybe it was first, second, or third grade. It was at a school I went to called Winston Elementary. And our little group got in trouble because of one kid. We were in our little centers for PE class. So we all had to sit out on the side of the wall. So I'm zoning out, and that's a form of meditation when you zone out, whether you mean to or not. You've ever been driving home, you know the road so well that when you get home you realize you weren't even looking at the road. You were thinking about whatever you were thinking about, but oddly enough, you didn't crash anywhere. It's because you're meditating, your mind is open, and you're somewhere else. So this day, I zoned out, staring at the teachers talking to one another, but I'm not really paying attention. But I did notice a lady came up and started talking to a teacher. This lady looked like she maybe had been the mother of one of the kids. All of a sudden there was a black baby carriage right there with a white pillow and a white blanket and nothing in it, no baby. It was just a carriage. And then when the lady walked away when she was done talking, and the carriage was gone. And I never knew what that was, but in my recent years of being open-minded and in the psychic sense and having more abilities open and learning more, I realized that one of those ladies had a miscarriage, and that's what it was representing to me psychically. I don't know which one it was at this point in my life, but I realize now that that's what happened.
Oh, that's a very difficult thing, I think, for somebody young to deal with. So that's crazy. So I'm assuming when you were younger, you kind of pushed it away because we are trained to use our left brains more, or did you always knew that there was something?
Yeah, I may have pushed it away a little bit, just if I, back then maybe I was afraid people would think I'm weird. I embrace it. I am weird, I'll tell you right now. It's good to be weird. But I never really pushed it away. I never stopped believing because, the mundane is just, it's not, there's more out there. And we're never gonna know everything, and that's fine. That's the excitement of it. Everybody's gonna know something different. So.
Yeah, definitely agree. I feel like this sort of studies are in its infant stage. A lot of people don't know too much about it, and I think some people are scared. But I think as time goes on, we're gonna learn more. And I also think that humans on this planet are, I don't know, I feel like we're reaching an age of enlightenment. Would you agree with that? Or
I definitely would, and I feel like it has been going on for some time, but it's a slow process. But I do feel like it is definitely getting more frequent with the amount of people and how much we're learning or being opened up to. Sadly, I don't believe all of us are, there yet, and hopefully one day we all will be. It's just something we have to go through, and I feel like every civilization goes through something like that at some point. But we're just reaching all these technological advances. I feel like at some point, we're not going to be able to advance anymore, and the technology will stop. But that's when the psychic will take back over, and that can never stop developing, especially with as much as people don't use it. I mean, all it takes is just a little bit of, if you believe, you can open it up. So that's what we all got to come together and work on, because then so many problems can be fixed.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think if we could communicate and understand each other better, I think it would be better for the world.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess, do you have any last words for the people listening out there? Anything you want to tell them?
Feel free to comment on this video and ask questions, and we can answer them for you. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's the_spirit_radio R8DIO on Instagram for my account. And tell us your stories too. I mean, you might know something that we don't know or that I don't know, and you can share your developments as well.
All right, that sounds great. And I will also put the link in the description. That way y'all can have easy access to it. And I again want to thank Spirit Radio for showing up, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.